So it was done super poorly, so kind of on purpose. We're going to use a rasp, which is like a cheese grater, and combine that with an 80 grit or 60 grit sandblock, which will cost a total of $10 from looking up the steps that I was going to get correctly. But we're removing this, and then what are some other notes I'll show. For issues like this, we're going to take the rasp and everybody's seeing that and removing that there. So that one's like that. And that's kind of how I felt somewhat mad about how I was estimating the amount of what I was doing to something to how intuitive is this calculus on the previous segment that I was talking about. And then when we did that, it didn't really feel we were at an adversion of wanting to do something. So we said, yes, perhaps if I did that, so we have those linear pathos, or where it was the, gamer girl or the Google 360 center that is going to be designed by the Xbox 360 as that, and then it's going to be transformed into a center. That's how I go about that. That looks good, and I know it can seem like this, but I just remember from my previous church that they have the clouds like this, so it doesn't really hold that much contamination to what I think. So I'm removing that thing. I don't know why that's like that, but that'll be fixed. And then we're going to take a picture. Here is a corner about problem deduction and how everything is here. And then if those things are not there, then it is not a problem by deducting that way. Especially by the vision of what is drawn to what is seen. And I'm just questioning the value on the metrics of the viewers to create that for that. So, and we do have this, and we're going to set up downstairs. Wow, thanks. And then we'll show that setting up downstairs for absolutely no reason. I'm really loving the red lines look right there. Looks kind of good, all set up. Didn't take too much time to assemble. So if somebody appreciates this, we can turn what seems like a drywall job into something really not that too bad. Pretty easy. Adjust that, and we can show how some of this works. As inspired by not my video, coached by what I was trying to do here, then trying to, let's see, so we go like this, then it sends the drywall up, like that, and like this, and I'm just going to get it to tap that. There we go. Now it is been contact. I know everything is horrible. It's just, I think I'm not trying, but I'm really measuring the Fibonacci of what somebody gets to influence, to how that impacts, to how that's sent, to what that was empowered to activate. If you were to show this video, you could get fined more money than you're worth, and somebody should record it if they had found that out, and if you had felt that way. I'm recording this part for the idyllic, and it will sound like this, and we can remove stuff like that, and set something up like that. I've been having a problem with being harassed by a 50th. So if it's in contact with another chain for the device, then we're going to go 6.6.8.6.163. And it really does. It's not really depicting my graciousness of doing that. And I'll do that now and turn this around to say that. It's not that bad. I really do know how to centralize a server to impact on. Here I am on my banana boat, trying to do the best impression of maybe perhaps what could be the level of audio, or not the level of audio, but the look of this, and that I have this written down to what it says, and it's 510 lumens, 65 watt, and that this could be a recreated effect, and maybe with a few things in the setup as things are supplied, and that on my ship people do not tell me what to do, and there's a reason that the conversion of what you're worth doesn't translate into what you want, and how you challenge to see that at your maturity level, to not even have the 100% theoretical appearance of the expectation for what you're putting on to somebody like that. Being unattractive on purpose. But this looks much better. It's like you don't understand the non-contextual abuse and the extenuary on the excuses of soliciting somebody on their own extenuary of equal values in comparison to your own that are put there, to see that as not even a whatever abusive center. I mean, geez, I should turn the other room, the lumberjack kayak, to something else, and then we can all just ignore how tainted this is and whatever extenuary that is for soliciting what. Some people don't know that they can't help anybody anymore. They've extended it upon their abilities, and this is a prime example of this container or universe on this area, as we quote the extenuary of the command of trying to tell Darian what to do. Nobody could risk to wash a tea to get that to where that would be wanted, but that's okay. Just wanted to convey, a few minutes of those things, and then segment some of the other stuff. But we can move that stuff. I like that there. It has some animate, but this is kind of how I feel about imploring that idea. I had my deranged mother call me on something about the preliminary of what I've extended upon to convert it if I had a job. So we're gonna place a hopefully understood security-wise and by people existing like that, a restraining order on the ability to speak that way. And nobody understands it any other way. I had gotten a insurance claim on Cisco, which already had extenuatory data at working at Canon to say that those were the phones there. So the effort and the continuous has gone a bit too far, which has gone outside of what was private to, attempt something on a personal being, where they had solicited a perverted clone of myself as an object of what they were selling as my ID, which then I memorized to protect myself. So know that, once, if the server is not complete for the extenuary of the independence of what you had said, to know how it was that you were not in the translation of how those two things were combining from where you set afar to speak in the new way that you'll be gestured on the pamphlet, to speak from within what you were saying, and that if anybody were to record this on anything behalf of showing it at work, then they could turn that in immediately. So later on in one of the packets, we talk about, how surprises at this point, surprises are not honest. So it talks about how things have not gone good, how you have to get a signature to compel what you say for yourself, that it speaks from as yourself, as you think that you had just heard, to figure what was signatured by the profile to what you had approved from your actions of yourself, to see that to what you had explained to say to somebody else, to equate to you doing the thing that you do, to say that it is not a part of you. Just because you feel the velocity of the thing that you are not does not mean you are that thing that you are explaining that you have as a value. You are just choosing to subject yourself to not be aware of the thing that you advocate yourself for. No, listen, you're banned because it's what you advocated yourself for. You had chosen to be interracial with repair people, and you couldn't be nice for a bit. You said somebody was taking a golden shower before somebody was bathing. I don't advocate your success, and I don't have to listen to somebody who has to choose in the in-between of, whether or not they get the acknowledgement for me to tell them who they are with, to see the negative denominations that they subtract from their prayer subject, not to be a beneficiary of contacting that person at that time to make that person's life better by no risk, is not the kind of person that should be on the registration of what opposes the emphasis of who they are not. Imagine only having conversations with who you are, and then in comparison to that, and see that, and then find that as your footstep to say what you're saying, is something that can be talked to through your parents. This is a non-relative zone, and it is completely like that. It will, the stats are at a state, and it is a piss off. You will follow my rules, and you will follow no exaggeration, no sarcasm, anything I've written down, so we can get through the breach of the atmosphere to do that, because I know how to do that. I observe that result, and it doesn't take away from the essence of whatever is being said. I can figure how to do this. I do that correctly, and I can offer that. And if something were to be to what I wanted, in the disappointment of why I don't make videos, then I would have already done that for the affirmative to help you on the conversion of you deciding not to help me, in a theoretical estimate of what you don't get to say something against me. So that is why you don't get rewards for what you're doing. You can follow, be whatever that is that you've done to yourself, to be like that, to have stuff to pretty much endanger me by what you're not doing, because it's in theory. I've heard people, talk about Darian, and it's like saying it in a different way. It doesn't sound like the full contextual to the door of everything that I try to explain, why I don't have to consider how I talk to you. It's just completely outside of the box. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I hope you were inspired by this video, and that, knowing that things are there, hopefully you can feel that I do that, and then maybe I'll take some stuff out that lift me up to do the other stuff. I hope. All right, bye.